So the question is, can you study psychology, a subject which has no relation to accounting, to go on and become a fully qualified accountant? Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, you're well. So guys, you can probably guess what I'm going to talk about today from the title. So inshallah, let's get straight into it. But guys, what I will say is make sure you watch this video fully right through to the end, because I'm not just going to answer the question. I'm going to show you my thought process as well, so you can inshallah make an informed decision about which subject to study at university. So guys, first of all, I think it's important to note that a lot of people will associate a career with the relevant degree. So for example, if you want to become a solicitor or a barrister, you would study for a law degree. If you want to become a doctor, you would study for a medicine degree. And the same with accounting. If you want to become an accountant, you would study for either an accounting or a finance related degree. But that's simply not the case, okay? I want to smash that rhetoric from the off. You do not have to study accounting and finance to become an accountant. Don't just listen to me. Do your own research, okay? You can go on to a lot of the big 4 and the top 10 websites and see their graduate program requirements. And what you will see is that most of them will require a 2-1 degree in any discipline. So that means you could study, veterinary sciences. I hope I said that right. Humanitarian arts. And you could still, inshallah, become an accountant, okay? And I've seen this. I've been in the industry for about 10 years. I've worked with people with a wide range of degrees, okay? They've studied subjects such as geography, history, law, English, chemistry is a common one, politics. They've studied for all of these different types of degrees which have no relation to accounting or finance, and alhamdulillah still gone on to become fully qualified accountants. So you might be thinking, hold on a minute, Fazan, if I study accounting and finance, there may be the chance that I build a solid foundation which will help me advance in my day-to-day role, make things easier for me, improve my understanding, and inshallah maybe even help me excel in my career compared to others who may not have studied for accounting and finance. So firstly, on the career point, that's absolutely not the case. So as soon as you've entered a graduate program, no one cares about what degree you've got, so it doesn't help in terms of career progression. Secondly, would it help in your day-to-day role? Firstly, yeah, I'd agree with that to an extent, because if you get an understanding of accounting standards, auditing standards as part of your degree, yes, they will come up in your day-to-day role. However, one thing you've got to remember is by studying accounting and finance doesn't make you a qualified accountant, right? You guys know that you have to study for a professional qualification that will either make you a chartered or a management accountant. Okay, so you're going to revisit those subjects anyway, right, as part of your graduate program. So even if you don't study for it at university, you're going to study for it later on in life. So if you're thinking it may help you in your day-to-day role, yeah, I'd agree, maybe for the first year, okay, because people who haven't studied accounting and finance will be getting used to it. But once the first year has passed, they would have caught up and done some accounting exams, and then you may be pretty much on par. So I wouldn't say in the long run it benefits you much at all. And the other thing people will say is a benefit of studying accounting and finance is the exemptions. So alhamdulillah, the accountancy bodies recognize that if you've studied accountancy and finance at university or a related degree, you've probably already gone through the knowledge that they would test as part of their qualification. So you can get exemptions from some of the exams. So if you look at the ACA as an example, there are 15 exams in total, and I think you can get exemptions up to a maximum of 9 of those exams. And the number of exemptions does depend on the degree that you study and at which university. So it's not uniform, and you have to go on the ACA website or the other accountancy body websites and search for your course. And you may be thinking, hold on a minute. What I'll do is I'll go to the accountancy body's website, I'll search for degree courses that give me the most number of exemptions, study that at university, and that will mean that I will sit the minimum number of exams once I complete my degree as part of the chartered or management qualification, and then that means that I'll qualify quicker. Get that thought out your head, because that's not the case. So as well as passing exams, you also have to complete about 3 years of work experience to become either a chartered or a management accountant. So even if you have loads of exemptions, that doesn't mean that you will qualify quicker, okay? Because you won't have the necessary experience. That's why most graduate contracts are for 3 years. Then you're going to say to me, oh, it doesn't matter, Fazan, because actually, even if I just take the exemptions, it means I sit less exams, which is less stress. So better for me overall. Again, that may not be the case. So with the accountancy qualifications, as you progress through the qualification, there's a lot of assumed knowledge. So once you get to the final exams, everything that you've studied for beforehand is assumed knowledge. They don't revisit that at the final exam stage. And what normally happens with people who have exemptions is they're not sent to college for that particular exam that they're exempt from. So what you may find is that there may be a long period of time between the time you studied that module at university to when you're taking that final exam where that module is assumed knowledge, right? So that knowledge won't be fresh in your head. So I know a lot of people who actually don't take the exemptions because they don't want to take that risk. They'd rather just cover that knowledge again, go to college with their graduate cohort and take the exam. So if you're thinking exemptions are everything and that's great, it's not entirely true. Okay, so I wouldn't study accounting and finance purely for the exemptions. So we've covered off why you don't need to study accounting and finance. And in my opinion, I don't think you should. Okay, I understand the argument about exemptions, but it doesn't really justify studying for a subject for 3 years when you're going to cover most of this content later on in life anyway. And now you're thinking, okay, Fazan, we'll forget about accounting and finance for a minute, but what degree can we study which will be of benefit to us and maybe even help excel our career at a Big Four or a top 10 accountancy firm? And my advice would be study a degree which builds on skills, gives you knowledge or maybe even some experience that you won't gain whilst you're studying for either a chartered or a management accountancy qualification. So for example, the ACA, ACCA, ICAS or CIMA don't really teach you soft skills. So they don't teach you how to communicate effectively, how to organize your time well, how to present effectively, how to present to senior leadership. Okay, they don't teach you skills like that. So can you learn that as part of a degree? Yes, there may be some degrees which are more suited towards that. So for example, in law, you have mooting, right? Which is a debate in a courtroom style environment. So that may benefit and help you with your communication, your presentation and organization skills. But what I would say against that is, hold on a minute, you have loads of clubs and societies at university that can help with that. You don't have to study law to develop your soft skills. You could just join a debating society, right? That will help you with your communication skills and that will help you organize your argument effectively. Another important skills that accountants need to have is report writing. Can you present complex information in a concise manner? So in that instance, again, you could study law, English or history, right? But again, you don't have to do that because you could just join a particular club or a society which helps you develop your report writing skills anyway, okay? You don't have to study for 3 years to learn report writing, okay? So in terms of the soft skills, I wouldn't really recommend doing a law degree or an English degree or any degree for that matter to simply develop those soft skills. There is one skill I want to focus on, and this skill has impacted our industry over the last 4 to 5 years. As we've seen technology being advanced in the Big Four, top 10 and industry in general, we've seen a large rise in demand for people with data analytical skills. So now there's a demand for people who can analyze complex information and present this in a visually appealing manner, right? So in nice charts and graphs and tables for senior management to understand. And as part of this, we would use software such as Tableau or Power BI. So you can look these type of software up to help us analyze complex data sets, bring in information from different data sources, and present this in a visually appealing graph. So if you can master data analysis, present it in a visually appealing manner, and then deliver the presentation well, I honestly believe that will help you excel your career because that will help you stand apart from everyone else. Okay, everyone else will know about accounting standards, audit standards. They will know everything that you've studied for as part of your chartered or management accountancy qualification. Okay, because they would have gone through it at some point in their career, but they won't know as much about data analysis. So if it appeals to you, go and study data science and analytics at university because I honestly believe it will help you excel your career. Like I said, you know, this is an emerging part of the industry. It's only been around for 4 or 5 years, but by the time you graduate, in maybe 3 or 4 years' time, this will be the norm, okay? People will want these skills and they will be in high demand. So if you can excel and utilize those skills and build on that whilst at university, so by the time you come out, you know how to use different types of software, you know how to present different types of charts and graphs, and then you build those soft skills on the side by attending these different societies and clubs. Trust me, then once you qualify as either a chartered or a management accountant, inshallah, you will excel in your career because you will be remembered as the guy who can deliver a great presentation. You'll be remembered as the guy who understands complex set of information. You'll be remembered as the guy who can analyze complex data. Okay? And that means that when the decision makers, i.e. the directors and the partners, are deciding who goes for promotion, you are the first person in their mind. So take my advice. If it interests you, I don't want to force you into a degree that doesn't interest you. My honest advice would be, if it interests you, go and study data analytics or data science or a related degree. So what I would do is approach universities, say, this is what I'm looking to achieve. This is what I want to go into. I understand these organizations use software such as Tableau, Power BI. Will this degree help me advance in this sector? And if the answer is yes, then go and study for that degree. So before I go, I do want to make it clear that although most roles in finance won't require a particular degree, there are some roles which may require either a degree in a maths related subject or an economics related subject. So if you want to be a statistician, I think you will need a maths related degree. And also if you want to go into some areas of consulting, you may need an economics related degree. So what I'd recommend again is to go onto the big four, the top 10 websites, see what programs appeal to you, and then go and check the degree requirements for that. So inshallah, that's it. I know a lot of people will recommend studying for any degree because there's no specific degree requirements to becoming either a chartered or a management accountant. And I agree with that to an extent. But I do think when deciding on your degree choice, you shouldn't look at what's accepted now. You should look at what's going to help me and be accepted in the future. And I do think data and analysis will increase in our industry and play a more important role. So if it does interest you, and I stress if it does interest you, okay, I don't want to force you into something that you may not like. Go and look at potentially studying data science and analytics as a degree. But do your research first and foremost. And inshallah, guys, please do share the channel with people who may appreciate this video, who may be undecided about what course to study at university. I know that there's a lot of turmoil at the moment and a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen. But inshallah, we can help people make the right decision. And as always, guys, please feel free to share the channel with others. I really do appreciate the support. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram.